welcome to Argentina, first of all.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
We met 3 years ago when you came for the first time. I don't know if it was your first time here to Argentina, but I have a big impression when we met 3 years ago. And I have to remind you that I'm not here as a journalist, as a doctor, as a scientist. I am just curious, trying to open my mind and my heart and to listen about many matters I brought. I was wondering what I was going to ask you on, and here I received lots of questions that some people gave me here, and then I wrote by my own some of them, so I'm going to mix them. Please take,
sure.
I am not sure. And maybe the first thing for me was, I feel like when you are in front of the I Ching, having the possibility of asking something. So maybe the first question I can do for you is, which is the correct question for you?
I think the two most important questions that human beings have is, who am I? And what is the purpose of my existence?
Okay. So, who am I and who are you, and why are we here now? Do you think you have a role in our society? Do you have a mission in these days in our land?
I think, at the deepest level, you and I are both patterns of behavior of the universe. So, you're a transient pattern of behavior of the total universe, and so am I. And this conversation is a conversation of the universe with itself, using you and me as the instruments for that conversation. So, in the deeper reality, this conversation is part of the total pattern of events in evolution.
Well then, when I started thinking these questions, I thought about peace and love. And I thought these old ancient terms, as John Lennon said, maybe are all we need. Do you agree with that? Is it real that all we need is love and peace?
As long as we understand what those terms mean, love is not a sentiment, and love is not an emotion. Love is the ultimate truth at the heart of creation, which is that a single reality differentiates into the diversity of the universe. And when you experience that, then it becomes impossible to hurt or be hurt. And it is an expression of profound peace as well. Peace is, and love and truth and creativity and harmony are evolutionary impulses in the universe. Of course, the universe also has the other impulses of destruction and chaos and violence. They're part of existence. It just so happens that the evolutionary impulses usually are a little ahead of the non-evolutionary or inertial forces of the universe, and that's how the universe creates itself and then recreates itself. If you had only the peace and love, only peace and love and creativity, there would be nothing to do. You're an actor, so you know you need good guys and bad guys in a good movie.
Yes, of course. All of yes, yeah. The main characters and the we have to create opposites in that.
You have to. The whole of creation is through contrast. Otherwise, there's no experience.
But, for example, I was wondering if violence creates more violence. For example, in fiction, in cinema, or in literature, is there the thought that violence creates more violence? And sometimes I'm worried about that in creating fiction.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that as human beings, the human species is only 200,000 years in its evolution. There were no human beings more than 200,000 years ago. The universe is 14 billion years old, and our planet is about 5 billion years old. So we are not even in our infancy as far as evolution is concerned. And during this period of evolution, the most important instinct that we've had for survival is what is called the fight or flight response, which means in a threatening situation, we either fight or we run away. And because of that, we have survived. But what has happened is that we have become so good at it now that we have become the predator on the planet. And there's a saying in evolution, a permanently victorious species risks its own extinction. So many evolutionary biologists are saying that we have to now move to the next stage. Survival of the fittest has to be replaced by survival of the wisest. That wisdom becomes the new criterion for evolution. That predatory relationships have to be overwhelmed by symbiotic relationships. That it's now our responsibility to nurture the web of existence, the ecosystem. And that as we move into the next phase of our evolution, if we move in that direction, then that will become what creates a new civilization.
And do you think that it's going to change visibly? Civilization is going to change in a term of time, in a near terms of time?
It needs to change because we are coming to a stage where the playing field for violence is going to be even. In the next decade or so, what we call superpowers will become irrelevant because conventional weaponry and warfare will not be the way to supremacy. I have a cell phone in my pocket which acts like a computer. It can move electrons and cut off electricity, move electrons and hijack all the planes, or interfere with air traffic signals, move electrons and suffocate all the pacemakers and respirators, poison the food chain, cause the nuclear plant to leak. When that happens, you don't need superpowers. You could be an 18-year-old boy in a cave in Afghanistan. You don't have to move. You use your cell phone to do all these things. So as the technologies get more sophisticated in their diabolical creativity, then it automatically makes the superpowers. Right now, there are 5 countries which are supposedly the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, who are responsible for 95% of the weapons trading, manufacture. It's good business. That's all going to become irrelevant. So either when you have modern technologies, modern capacities, and ancient habits, it's a devastating combination. And this is now the moment of crisis. Either we risk our extinction or we completely transform our consciousness. It's an interesting time. We could go either way. They say if insects disappeared from our planet, then in 5 years all life on this planet would stop because insects are part of the ecosystem. They also say that if human beings disappeared from the planet, then in 5 years life would flourish on our planet.